Hey guys, it's Nikki here with Build Like a Girl Canada, and this is going to be my first official video, on my YouTube channel. So if any of you don't know who I am the owner of True North Harvest Tables and Furniture, and just over a year ago, I started to teach workshops to women here at my studio in Kawartha Lakes. We're looking to expand further locations, and today I am going to do a small video showing you all how you can go about making your own pallet style clocks. If you have a little bit of skill at home, you can put some wood together or have somebody at your home put some wood together, and maybe just use a jigsaw or a router to just go ahead and route around a 24-inch circle or whatever size it is that you want to go with. And yeah, you can go, and we're just going to show you how to make this wonderful clock that we've had great success with, and I know that some other people have been hosting this workshop since we've been offering here at Build Like a Girl Canada, and I thought that this would be a really good kickoff video just to introduce you guys to our workshop. So behind me is a station, obviously, and I have a couple of clocks on display here, and I'm just going to kind of take the phone quickly just to show you some of the stuff that we have at the station. So although I do have some drills here, we're not going to be using them today. This workshop here really is more of a decorating style workshop where, you know, it's more of a craft. You're not really learning how to build anything per se, but you are going to be doing a little bit of measuring. So we do have a measuring tape and obviously a pencil, and these are some stencils here, and they are for a 24-inch clock, and I ordered them on Amazon, so you can find them there. And I also have some clocks here, just two different styles that I did using these stencils right here. I also have some water-based stain. I also have a brush here to apply the stain. I have a rag over here just to, obviously, to move the stain around. Some gloves just to protect. Honestly, I have these glasses here, but since we're not building anything, they're kind of useless. So I have some white painting here. I have my clock pieces here. Again, you can find most of this on Amazon. And yeah, and I have a little bit of a stencil that I created here using the silhouette. And my orbital sander. If you do not have an orbital sander, that's fine. You can just use some regular sandpaper, cut yourself a square, and I mean, obviously it will take a little bit more time to get the finished product, but we all do not have orbital sanders. So I'm going to be using my 5-inch Makita orbital sander today. As you can see here, I just have some Mirka sandpaper on there. I think it's about 120 grit, nothing crazy, and let's do this. Okay, so it's gonna be our first time together, okay guys? Let's do this. Okay, see me? Okay, good. So, right now, I have a 24-inch. It's just a round. I have some slats on the back, as you can see here. It's just been drilled in to obviously hold these pieces together. This was a square at first, and then I actually used a router to cut out this 24-inch circle. Obviously, I mean, you're not up close, but there's some fray on here. There's some, you know, like some unclean edges. I understand that this is a rustic pallet clock, so I mean, you do not want it to be perfect by any means, but we do want to clean this up a little bit, and that's what the sander is for, or if you do not have the orbital sander, that's what the sandpaper is for, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and sand this up. because I've basically done the face surface now of the clock, but I'm just gonna kind of transition into just going along the edge of the clock, and you know, I want you to see it in kind of different steps. So I'm just gonna start doing that now. Okay, so that's pretty smooth. Honestly, you don't really want to use anything over 120 grit before you're going to, I mean, you could probably get away with 150, but you really want the surface to still be a little bit porous, just so that it absorbs the stain. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of, you can see there's quite a bit of dust on here. So I'm just gonna kind of take this brush and just kind of dust off. You know, it doesn't have to be fancy, just get her done. Okay, and now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to stain it. So for the workshops, I always use water-based stain. I'm gonna put on my gloves regardless, just cause, you know, like it can get in my nail beds, and I know that I'm a woodworker, but you know, I do not need to look like it all the time. So let's wear some gloves and just get this stain on. So I'm always using Minwax. A water-based stain, you know, I go to my local Home Hardware here in Lindsay. Michelle there is wonderful. She even helps me mix custom stains so that I can get, you know, different grade brown hues. She's really great at helping me out with any type of stain needs that I require. This one here is actually a mix of the water-based classic black and coffee. So it's not too dark. The coffee kind of brings in a little bit more of a warm, so it really works out to be like a dark espresso kind of brown. But it's water-based, so honestly it doesn't stink and it dries really, really fast. And that's kind of what we want to get with our workshops, right? We don't want to have 15 women in here building clocks, everybody's high off of fumes, and yeah, and it's a disaster, it's a mess. It's very hard to clean up if somebody gets it everywhere. It's just a lot harder to contain and just stay on top of. So I'm gonna go ahead and brush this on, and it absorbs really quickly. It really does. That's where it's kind of a little bit harder than oil-based to work with. I find that with oil-based, you really can, a little bit goes a long way, whereas I find this stuff, it does absorb a little bit more. So, you know, you might have to use twice as much of this product as you would have to with the oil product. I mean, we're gonna get all around the edges, you know, just kind of uniformly, just kind of brush it on, right? So I'm just doing that here. And this dries so much faster, and especially when you're gonna put like a stencil on, especially one that has a stick on the back, something that's maybe made with the Cricut or the Silhouette, where you actually have to peel and stick the vinyl. I do find that if you use an oil-based, obviously oil product, you have a harder time getting that adhesive to stick to the surface. Whereas with the water-based product, I find that it's easier. Like it sticks a lot better, and you're not dealing with, you know, a stencil that keeps lifting, which is extremely frustrating, trust me. So yeah, the stencil that we're using today, again, I told you I got it from Amazon. You can get it in different sizes. Here at our workshops, we offer 2 sizes. So you can get a 24-inch clock, or you can get a 36-inch clock. For anybody else who's wondering the difference, basically 24-inch is 2 feet. So 2 feet, 2 feet, and a 36 inch is 3 feet, which is a pretty big clock. So, you know, you might want to measure out your space before you commit to either size, okay? So I've really put this on here now. I love too how often the router, when you use the router, it kind of leaves like little circles in the center. I'm not really sure if you can see it on the video, but I feel like it just really adds character and just makes it look more unique. So anyways, I've applied that. Really just kind of get it in the cracks and everything. And I feel like it looks pretty good, okay? Because at the end of the day, we're gonna put some paint on this. So, you know, if we have to do any touch-ups after too, it's not like this stuff is going anywhere. Okay, so, yeah, like it feels pretty cool because it's wet. But again, this stuff dries pretty quickly. So the next thing that we're gonna do is I have actually cut out a circle with my silhouette here, okay? It's on some peel and stick vinyl, and it is the same size circle, just a little bit bigger, as the center radius of these stencils here, which I'm gonna show you. Okay, so these are the ones from Amazon. They're a little bit flimsy, so you do have to be a bit careful with them. The one on the top here, I obviously used for the black clock here, and the one on the back, I used for the white clock over here. So we're gonna put white, obviously, because it's gonna stand out so much more on this darker stain. So I'm just gonna kind of bring that to the top for now. And then I'm going to paint around this circle. So what I wanna do first is this circle is about, I would say 11.5 inches, okay? So we wanna actually measure 6.5 and just put a little mark at each radius, okay? So 6.5, 6.5 on all 4 corners. So north, east, south, and west. Yeah, okay, so there we go. So I just have that 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, and this is on a 24-inch clock, okay? The measurements would change obviously for a 36-inch. And honestly, you know, I just went over that with my hand. I got a little bit of stain on there, easy to come off. Good tip, water-based will normally come off with water and soap. Anything oil-based, you're gonna have to use oil to remove oil. I often will take olive oil, mix in some dish soap, a little bit of sugar, and I'll just use that to scrub my hands and it will come off, honestly, with a little bit of water, and it's not an issue at all. So I'm gonna peel off this stencil that I made using the silhouette. Sometimes it wants to stick, so I'm gonna try to find a really good corner to do this. And, I mean, if this is the hardest part, we got a problem. It just sometimes wants to cut right through. There we go, I think I got it. Got it. You can see. Yes, I got it. Okay. So I'm just gonna peel that off. Normally you have to use tape, but because this is one big circular thing, it's pretty easy. And then we're just gonna kind of start up at our point and match it up with our other points. Okay, so that top one there, match up with that one, and it's down there, and then we're gonna press this on. We're just gonna rub it out. If there's any bubbles, get rid of those bubbles. Okay, and it's on there. I feel it, it's on there. Okay, so now I have some flat white paint that I got at Home Hardware again. It is just white. It has not been mixed other than shaken when I bought it. And yeah, it's typically what I use for these projects. So I am just going to apply this with a foam brush. You can use any type of brush. I typically use foam because I don't want brush marks, right? So the foam tends to give it a little bit of a cleaner, you know, stroke. And again, because this is rusted, we're just gonna kind of just get it covered, right? And this is where I was saying, you know, like you want to leave some on the edges of the stain, but realistically, you're likely going to be painting over it. You know, if we distress this, it's still going to come through and all that, right? So it doesn't have to be perfect. you get the idea.